Hi there, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be learning about string indexing and string slicing. So let's get started. In this video, we'll be discussing about what is a string. If those are very new to the programming, we'll explain a little bit about it. Then what is indexing and what are the types of it. We'll understand about the negative indexing. Then we'll learn about the positive indexing. What is string slicing? That what we will learn, and it is a very close concept with indexing. And then we'll use various variation to fetch substring through a live demo in Python terminal. And we'll also learn about how to reverse a string. So it's going to cover a lot of basic concepts with this string. So just stick to it. Now, so very first thing is what is a string in programming language, right? So a string is nothing but a collection of characters, and it doesn't mean only characters. It can be letters, numbers, or symbol. And another simple definition: it's just a bunch of text or words. Okay, and it is commonly used in programming language to process text-based information, right? So whenever you will use your programming skills to deal with real programming problems, then you will be using this string um, to process alphabetical information. Like, for example, you are having an information that contains various details, like, in a paragraph or something, and you need to process it. What you will do, you will store everything into a string data type, and then you will perform some of the operation on top of that. um, in programming language, just think of like anything which is alphabetic, right? That contains characters, letters, numbers in such nature, then we can consider them as a string, right? Now let's see some example. It will make this concept very clear. So okay, let's see the very first example, hello world. And you see here there is a special symbol in between hello and world, and still it's considered as string. Now the second one is I am 25 years old. Here number 25 is part of this whole sentence, but still it's a sequence of characters and numbers, and by the definition of string, it would be considered as string. And the third one is I love my life. It's a simple string, we can say, but the thing which we want to focus here is here we address that we can have the special symbol, we can have number, but as you can see here, this whole sentence also contains spaces in between. So these are also part of your string. Okay, and such a special character play a really big role when you really use Python for your programming and try to solve real world problems using your code. So let's deep dive into string indexing. Okay, what is string indexing? Is it's the ability to access specific characters within the string. So if we go back to the previous slide, and let's say in my very first example, I want to just fetch hello instead of hello world, right? So it is only possible if you have understanding of indexing. Indexing is nothing but the ability to fetch, actually the ability that gives you the power to fetch a specific portion of a string, right? In the second example, if I want to fetch only 25, how you would do that without knowing the indexing, right? So indexing gives the ability to fetch a specific substring or a specific portion of a string that you can process in your program. Okay. um, so this is the same thing. And then the important point to note here is that the indexing will start from zero. Okay, so just go back a little bit. So here in this example, hello world, what happens is the positioning will get allocated to each and every character. That is actually called indexing. The real position of the each and every character is called index. So in this example, h will be assigned to a index position of 0. So very first character will always get index position is 0, and then it will go from left to right by the increment of 1. So h will be 0, e will be 1, l would be 2, another l would be 3, and then o would be 4. So this entire hello is getting uh, covered from 0 to 4, right? So indexing is nothing but just the positioning of each and every character in the string, and you can utilize it to fetch that specific portion. Okay, so let me go back to this slide. Now let's take this example. In this example, we have one variable called message, and then in this message we are assigning this value how are you. Okay, and then we are printing this message variable. So in this message variable, the value it is having is how are you. Okay, so but obvious when you execute this program, this entire how are you will get printed in your console, which we will see in a few minutes. um, but I just want to explain a concept of variable. Like we have understood what is a variable. It is just a container that stores value. But internally in computers, what happens is when you create a variable, it actually reserve a space in your memory, and then whenever you assign a value to that variable, that value actually get stored in the memory. Okay, and the memory which that variable picks up, um, is it is in a sequential manner. Okay, so if it is too much for you, just live with it at this moment, and let's try to understand through an example. Same word, same message, how are you. So when you type this one, like message equals to how are you, what exactly happens in your computer is there is a series of blocks, right? So these are blocks. Series of blocks get allocated to your variable. So this whole green line is a reserved for this message variable, and whenever you will call from your program message, this is what it's going to return. Okay, so that is what exactly happened here. Like indexing concept, if you see h is assigned to 0, right, and then o is assigned to 1, w is assigned to 2. So from left, right, from left to right, you will be having from left to right, you are going increment by 1, right? So this is a positive indexing. Okay, and here in at the bottom you see uh, here it is -1, and then it's going towards bigger number and on the left, and it is giving you um, the indexing in the negative, right? So this is -1, and then it is going -2, -3, -4, like this until it reaches the end, right? So this is called indexing, like positioning uh, each and every character within the string, right? So when we position, then it is in positive numbers, it is like positive indexing, left to right from 0 and increment by 1, it is a positive indexing. Whereas from right to left, starting with -1, right, and increment by -1, that is what we call it as a negative indexing. I'm hoping this concept is clear now. The blue is positive indexing, and what is mentioned here in the red is a negative indexing. Okay, now if we want to fetch a specific portion, right, in this example, if I want to fetch this how from this, right? So in this example, what will happen is we need to specify that what is the position of how. So we can see here h is placed on zeroth position, right? And w is placed on number 2 position, right? So if we want to access this HOW from the memory location, we need to tell computer that, hey, I need the string message from 0 till position number 2, right? So we cannot say in simple words. We need to specify our command in a specific format. So that is what the syntax, right? So what you need to do is, first of all, you need to write the name of the variable, right? So whatever variable that has the value you need to mention, and then you have to have a bracket open, and automatically if you are using PyCharm, there would be a closing bracket. First of all, you need to specify that, okay, from where it needs to start. Then you need to put a colon. Then where your desired substring is ending, then a colon, and then you need to mention what is the increment or what is the step. Okay, and this step part, this specific step part is optional. If you want to mention, you can mention. If you don't want to mention, you can discard it. It is by default incrementing by 1. But this is start and this end is very important that you need to specify. Okay. Now in this example, you can see here, um, if I want to print how, right? If I want to just print this section how, um, and what we are doing like print, then we call this variable, right? This is the name of variable, and then this is the start. So we are starting from 0th position, and then the thing that you need to focus here is, even though the position of w is 2, right? So this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2, but still we did 3. So this is what you need to know, just keep it in your mind. You have to always increment it by 1 to get this last character of your desired substring. So it's like, okay, you want to have your string from 0 to 3 where the last number is not included in your substring. Okay, it's always going to be like that. So we'll see in the live example, but this is how you're going to get how in this example. I'm hoping this concept is clear, and we'll see a lot more example in our live Python terminal. So let me fire up the Python, and then okay, now we are in our Python terminal. Let's get started with our live examples so that you can understand these concepts very well. So on my right hand side, I kept this image open, which we just understood in our um, concept part. So let me use that one only so that it would be in very much sync. So I'm creating a variable called message, okay, and then assigning this value how are you, okay. And if I just print it, right, if I just print it, it's going to print how are you, right? So the whole string got printed. Now in our example, if I want to print how, okay, how, so the syntax which I explained in my um, presentation was, we need to do print, and then you need to give the variable name, right? This is where the syntax starts. That print is just a print statement, but the actual syntax starts from here. Like you need to provide the name of variable, and then opening and closing brackets, right? And then first of all, you need to specify the starting position which you want to fetch. So in this example, we are trying to fetch how, right? So the starting position is starting from indexing 0. So we will specify 0, then we will put one colon, right? and then we have to specify the end. So the end character that we want is w, and its index position is 2, right? So um, I explained that we need to do a increment on top of that to get the last character, right? So we will increment this 2 by 1, and which will become 3, that we are going to mention here. Okay, and then we want increment by 1. So what it means is we need to specify 1 here. What will happen here, like it will start reading from 0, it will go up to 3, and then um, it will capture only position minus 1 from the stop, what is mentioned. So 3 minus 1, which is 2. So 0, 1, 2, that will get captured, and while reading it will use increment of 1 because we have specified 1. So from 0 plus 1 become 1, then from 1 plus 1 become 2. So this is how it's processing this string. So if I just run it, let me comment out the very first one just to avoid any confusion. So if I just print this one, you will see this how got printed, right? Now let's see if we want to print r. Okay, are. Now let's try this with me. So a is in position of fourth, right? So I will start from fourth, and then we need to print until e is in position of 6, but as I explained, we need to increment it by 1, so we will say 7, right? So we'll say 7, and again from starting 4, how we want to jump. So again, how we want to take a step. So increment by 1. So we will leave it by 1, right? So this will give you r. This is how it is, r. Okay. And now if you want to print u, right? So let's say you have your starting position is 8, right? So you will mention starting position is 8, and then you have to go up to end. Okay. um, so either what you can do, you can leave the second parameter blank, and by default it will just go until the end, and then the third variable you can always um, keep it, or you can always discard it if you are not increment by 2. Okay, so this will also be giving you, let me run it, see that you got the u. And also if you want to specify end parameter, so let's just follow the formula. So 8, 9 and 10, and then because 10 is the last position, it's this is where it's ended, but still you need to increment by 1, you can just mention 11 here, right? It will also give you the same result, u. Okay, so this is how you can use this positive indexing. Now let's see how we can use negative indexing. Okay, so here for h, okay, the if we want to print how h is starting from minus 11, so what we will do, we will do minus 11, right, the starting position, and we need to go up to w, right? So w is minus 9, but as I said, we always need to increment by 1, so it would be minus 8. So we'll going from minus 8, right? So starting from minus 11 up to minus 8. Now because by the default behavior of Python, it will go up to minus 9 only, and then this will be printing how, and I'm leaving this increment by 1 only. So this is how we can use negative indexing to um, print, or access some specific portion of the string. So let me fetch this one also, like let's fetch this u. So for fetching u, what we need to do is starting position is minus 3, so we'll do minus 3 here, very first parameter, and then the end parameter would be you know one more by the minus 1, but because there is nothing after this, so we can leave it as is, right? And increment by 1, and if I run it, you will see that you got printed. And if you really want to do that, no, eliminate this last one as well, so you can even remove this, and this will also produce the same result. Let me do that. Same result, right? So this one is optional. For example, let's take few more. Just use just two parameters. For example, if I want to print again r, okay, and just use two parameters. So I will start from fourth because a is starting from fourth position, right? And I will go up to seventh because in the sixth position my last character is there, so I will just put 7. So if I just run it, I will get r, right? And even if I put colon 1, I will also get the same output, r. Okay, so I'm hoping this is clear that you can use positive indexing or negative indexing. You can still print or access the specific portion of the string. Okay, now let's see um, few more small examples so that your concept will be clear. Okay, let's say you want to print such a way that you want to skip one character after after the character, right? So what I mean by this is you want to print h and then you want to skip o, then you want to print w, then you want to skip this space. If you want to print a, then you want to skip r, so likewise. Okay, so how we can do that? We can do that by following this syntax: print message, and then um, you can specify starting position is always 0, and then we want to do it until the end, so we will not specify anything. And then this time I want to do the increment of 2. Okay, so what will happen, it will start from 0, right, zeroth position, and it will go until the end. Okay, I didn't specify, so by default it's going to be at the end, but this time it will going to do the increment by 2. So if I run this, you will see that the character after first one, there is a skip. So h got printed, then o got eliminated, then w got printed, right? And then this space got eliminated, then a got printed, then r got eliminated, then e got printed, then space got eliminated, and then y got printed, then o got eliminated, and then at last u got printed. So you can play around with this example. In the next example, let's do like reversing a string. Okay, so if I want to print the whole string in reverse order, okay, how I can do that? So I will do that using this step um, movement. Okay, so print message, and then I will specify that okay, I want to, because I'm going to print in reverse order, right? So I will start from let's say last position, okay, which is 10, right? And then I will go up to 0, right? And then actually we need to increment by 1, so that's the safest option is not to specify anything. And then we need to increment by -1, right? So what will happen is it will start reading from here like 10th position, and then it will do -1, it will go to 9, and then 8, and then 7, and until it reaches 0. So this going to print whole string in negative. See, sorry, negative order actually. So you see here, um, it started from here like u o y, then a space e r a, then a space w o u. Okay, so how about you just want to reverse these first three characters? Okay, so how we will do that? We will start from position number 2, right? We just want to focus on this part. So position number 2 would be our start point. I will specify 2, and then again we want to cover until the end, so we will leave this second parameter and then -1. So this will also give me WOH, right? Now if I want to print this R in a reverse order like ERA, right? What I need to do is I need to specify starting position as 6, right? And then ending position is 4 but plus 1, right? We always need to consider plus 1 for the negative. So 4 plus 1 will become 3 in this instance because we are going in reverse order. Okay, and then we will do -1. So what it will do, like it will go to 6. First of all it will start from 6, okay, and then do -1. Then it will grab this R, then do -1. It will grab this A and then again do -1, and this is where it will stop. So in the same sequence it will print ERA. Let me run this. ERA. Okay, so same thing you can do with negative indexing, using negative indexing. Okay, so let me do print message. Let me comment this out. So here using the negative index you want to print let's say in reverse order this we can pick anything actually. So let's do reverse of this R only. Okay, so it is starting from -5, right? The starting would be -5, and then it is starting until it is ending until -7, but we have to increment by another digit, which is -8, right? And then here we have to increment by -1. Okay, so don't get confused by the negative with this last parameter. Just remember that +1 means left to right. Whenever you specify -1, it's going to always be from right to left. Okay, so it will process from right to left. So let's run this. So ERA. Okay, so I'm hoping you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and then we'll catch you up in the next video. Thank you.